Kia ora from Aotearoa. It's Poppy here and just checking in with everything. So much is going on, isn't it? And this little presentation is about breaking free of the construct, which has actually been a matrix of our minds. So I remember a vision I had 6 years ago. I saw the earth and an old cordlike umbilicus that was very depleted, and what it appeared to be like snow descending below gently. And as I zoomed in to have a closer look at the snow, I saw cocoons, and inside each one was a being that looked very much like a grey. They were not conscious, but they were cocooned and dropping away from the earth like a mass departing. It was actually very peaceful. There were just a few vibrant beings that were rising above the earth, and I recognised a friend who had recently died. The colours were vibrant and plasma-like, like fine accumulation of pastel colour. It was gentle and loving. I was listening to a podcast of Darius J Wright. I'm finding it fascinating, and he was speaking of the great work that is a part of his life mission. So at a young age, he had he could have surrendered his soul and departed from his physical form, but he was really encouraged to come back here and talk about this great work because of his love for humanity. Anyway, he experiences the different realms or heavens through out-of-body experiences. They are similar to a lot of near-death experiences. It's like seeing existence from a more whole perspective with the full spectrum of light and reality of sensing more acutely than we do in our 3D existence. The way he describes the realms and heavens is very much how I see it in my meditations, although he sees it precisely and clearly, a lot more clearer than I see in my meditations. He calls it a construct, and I've also seen it like that due to my perceiving it as something formed from the consciousness of living souls living within the earth. Above this construct, it's almost like this big dome with all these realms and dimensions, but above this construct is like the 13th heaven, and this is the place of Source, or the true creator. We are each aspects of Source, and very few are actually consciously connected directly with Source these days. And to stay in separation means to be living by the artificial nature of realms within this construct. So this is kind of like, in an artificially generated world. Which has been made by the hijacking of our consciousness. So our consciousness was hijacked over time by mimickers and replicators of those who lack souls. Greys also lack souls and are servants of the beings who see themselves as God, who have genetically modified and controlled people for eons. They've experimented on us for so long. The most precious thing we have is our soul, or our consciousness. It contributes to creation, as we are aspects of the Creator, with life force, with breath and love, our heart. It appears to me that the grand exodus of grey-like beings falling away from Earth that I saw had possibly surrendered their souls to the artificial intelligence, thus surrendering their innate ability to see and know for themselves. This is why it's so important to know ourselves, to go within through the portal of our heart into our bodies and know and see for ourselves. All knowledge is within us because we are of Source, and everything comes through Source, and it's all within creation, through the waters that live within us, through our absolute connection with what is real and loving and pure. So within the construct are different realms that I perceive as have been constructed from mass belief. There is every kind of God there. Remember, thoughts become things, so we really have a huge responsibility as beings that Source or the true Creator lives within. religions or bindings have contributed immensely to the imbalance, disharmony, and slavery of existence within the construct. The appeasement of gods with blood, energy, sacrifices, and finances has been a stronghold for eons. And this was actually the technology of those who have actually wanted to control and use in this universe as a resource, not as source, but as a resource, something that's been mimicked and imitated in the absence or the separation. So medicine, education, science, and politics have reinforced these constraining belief systems. Since our consciousness was used to create our containment, it may also be used to bust our way out of it. It is a way where love burns away all the fears that took over in the absence of true source connection. So fear really is that absence of love. And love will heal all fears and dispel all fears. It's like light going into the darkness. It overwhelms it. So many people attempt to sort out the captivity at the 3D level with warfare, protest, activism. However, I have discovered that much more can be sorted out in other realms or dimensions. The construct has been controlled from other realms or dimensions in the first place. And those that have been really fearless to remote view, to safely go into these out-of-body experiences, and to meditate and to see beyond the construct or everything that is within the construct, that takes a lot of pure observation with a lack of judgment, but just seeing. And then we find that we actually have power within us to affect those things that have happened in the most positive ways. We can be shown these things in our meditations, out-of-body experiences, etc. And we can be far more effective that way. And for that, we have to remember who we are, we have to remember our power, we have to reclaim our consciousness. So it's possible to see from meditating through our heart and body connection, or from the out-of-body experiences safely practiced. I mean, I think it's mentioned a lot within the Monroe Institute, and there's also remote viewing. But it's about knowing the self and really getting to see what is real and what is artificial. Now, the CIA harnessed this. They used it, they controlled it, to be used for the nefarious purposes, because they've been a part of the system control. And RAMCOA, or ritual abuse, mind control and organised abuse survivors, were used to co-create terror, fear, etc. by forcibly dissociating from their bodies within the construct and attracting demons. And when we look at that, daemons of the machine, to maintain pain, suffering, fear, and subordination here. And I remember being used in a ley-lined ritual where there was just the maximum amount of fear was induced, and my fear was carried through the ley lines into the earth as a child. And children are very pure and they are very powerful, and so they were used. So we were experimented upon by extraterrestrial beings who were slaves to the watchers of another universe, who favoured life in the absence of love and life force of the true creator. If we listen to survivor stories, you will become familiar with these themes, and you'll also see that when we turn that around, we are actually capable of doing so much that can for the greater good. So I feel that the survivors of today are showing the way to freedom, the common theme of love for our children, safety and peace for all is apparent to me through the survivors I have now met and those who bravely have shared their stories. And each one of us are in a different place. Some of us are just newly remembering, some of it I've only recently remembered, and then there's others that have gone before me who've had incredible recollection of their memories and are doing amazing great work here. But we do this for the greater good of creation, and it is about love and the reclamation of our consciousness for this higher good. It is a miracle that we are alive, and so many of us are still tending to the massive wounding that comes with this experience. I forget at times my power, and I'm growing more into it. It's difficult to remember when the memories of abuse are arising, and that's been happening just now. Right now I've been having some horrendous memories coming up, and when it happens, you feel so deep in it, it's hard to see the other thing. But we have to be brave, stay in our heart, stay in our body, see with as an observer with neutrality, and then deal with what it was, and in dealing with what has happened to us, we are helping everyone and everything, and I wish for my support, and I wish for more support, compassion, and for the hearts of people to open in general more, for more and more people to be directly connected with the Creator and creation herself, and for the relinquishment of all false gods which are of the lower realm or the construct. And there's many tricksters in there, especially if they are gods of judgment or taking power or desire worship. Then this is not the Creator. The Creator is absolutely pure, unconditional love, and cheering us on more than anything, absolutely loving us for all our learning, for all our errors, for all our mistakes, everything, just holding us in so much love. So we need to relinquish all the false gods, the powers and the principalities, and to be a part of the return to love and nature and ourselves. And in returning to ourselves, we are returning to love, to true Creator and creation connection. And may it be done here on earth and through every realm or dimension, so freedoms come. Let's frickin' bust out of this construct, out of this matrix. Surely we've had enough. Our souls and our consciousness, our hearts are calling this forth, and so it will be.